Most homeowners walk past the same 5 or 6 trouble spots every single day without ever giving them a second thought. And that's exactly how small problems turn into 5-figure repair bills. When people think about home maintenance, they picture painting a fence or mowing the lawn, but the areas that actually cause expensive damage are usually hidden, out of sight, and easy to forget until something fails catastrophically. Today, we're walking through the forgotten areas of your home that can lead to expensive damage, the places inspectors check first and homeowners check last, and exactly what you need to do to protect your biggest investment before a small issue becomes a massive one. Let's start with the attic, because almost nobody goes up there unless they're storing holiday decorations. An attic with poor ventilation or hidden moisture can develop mold, rot the roof decking, and destroy insulation without a single visible sign from inside your living space. In colder climates, a poorly ventilated attic actually causes something called ice damming, where heat escaping from your home melts snow on the roof, that water runs down and refreezes the colder eaves, and eventually forces water back up under your shingles and into your ceiling. By the time you see a stain on your bedroom ceiling, you're often looking at thousands of dollars in roof, insulation, and drywall repair. Twice a year, take 10 minutes to go up with a flashlight and look for dark streaks, sagging plywood, or compressed insulation, and make sure your soffit and ridge vents aren't blocked. Crawl spaces are another forgotten area that quietly wrecks homes from the ground up. If your house sits on a crawl space instead of a slab, moisture down there is almost guaranteed unless it's properly sealed and ventilated. Damp crawl spaces feed wood rot, attract termites, and pump humid air upward into your living space, which can spike your energy bills because your HVAC system has to work harder to manage that extra moisture. A vapor barrier across the ground and proper insulation on the walls can prevent thousands of dollars in structural repair, and it's one of the cheapest fixes on this entire list relative to the damage it prevents. Now let's talk about gutters and downspouts, because clogged gutters are one of the single biggest causes of expensive foundation and basement damage in North America. When leaves and debris block your gutters, rainwater doesn't get carried away from your home, it spills over the edge and pools right next to your foundation. Over time, that water finds its way into basement walls, cracks concrete through freeze-thaw cycles, and can even undermine the soil supporting your foundation footings. The fix costs almost nothing. Clean your gutters at least twice a year. Make sure downspouts extend at least 4 to 6 feet away from your foundation, and check that the ground around your home slopes away from the house rather than toward it. Ignoring this one forgotten area can eventually cost you tens of thousands of dollars in foundation repair. Dryer vents are shockingly overlooked considering how dangerous a blocked one actually is. Lint buildup inside a dryer vent doesn't just make your dryer less efficient, it's one of the leading causes of house fires every single year. A clogged vent also forces your dryer to run longer, which spikes your electricity or gas bill and shortens the lifespan of the appliance itself. Clean the lint trap after every load, but also disconnect and vacuum out the actual vent hose at least once a year, especially if your dryer is taking longer than usual to dry a normal load. This is a 5-minute job that prevents both a fire risk and an expensive appliance replacement. Your chimney and a fireplace, if you have one, are another forgotten area that homeowners rarely think about until something goes wrong. Creosote buildup inside a chimney flue is highly flammable, and cracked chimney masonry allows water to seep into your walls, leading to hidden rot and mold that spreads far beyond the fireplace itself. Even if you don't use your fireplace often, an annual chimney inspection and cleaning is worth the cost, because chimney-related water damage is notoriously expensive to repair once it spreads into surrounding drywall and framing. Let's move to something almost every homeowner ignores completely: the sump pump. If your basement has a sump pump, that little machine is often the only thing standing between a dry basement and a flooded one during a heavy storm or spring thaw. Sump pumps fail silently, usually because of a stuck float switch, a clogged intake screen, or a power outage during the exact storm that needed it most. Test yours a few times a year by pouring a bucket of water into the pit and watching it kick on, and consider a battery backup system so it still works if the power goes out. A sump pump failure during a major storm can mean thousands of dollars in flooring, drywall, and mold remediation, all from a part that costs less than $100 to maintain properly. Exterior caulking and weather stripping might be the most forgotten area on this entire list because it's so unglamorous. The seals around your windows, doors, and where different building materials meet are your home's first line of defense against water intrusion. Once caulking cracks or shrinks, even slightly, water works its way behind siding and trim, leading to hidden rot in the wall framing that you won't discover until you're doing a much larger renovation. Walk the exterior of your home once a year, and anywhere you see a gap, a crack, or peeling caulk, reseal it before the next rainy season. This single habit prevents an enormous amount of hidden structural water damage. Your water heater's expansion tank and pressure relief valve are 2 more components that almost nobody checks. As water heats up, it expands, and without a properly functioning expansion tank or relief valve, That pressure has nowhere to go except into your pipes, which can eventually cause leaks or even a ruptured tank. A failed water heater doesn't just mean replacing the unit, it often means water damage to flooring, drywall, and anything stored nearby. Test your pressure relief valve once a year by lifting the lever briefly, and have a plumber check the expansion tank's air pressure during your annual maintenance visit. Outdoor hose bibs and exterior spigots are another classic forgotten area, especially heading into a cold winter. If you forget to disconnect your garden hose and shut off the water to an exterior spigot before the first hard freeze, water trapped inside the pipe can freeze, expand, and crack the line, often inside your wall, where you won't see the leak until spring when it's already caused significant damage. Disconnecting hoses and using an insulated faucet cover takes about 2 minutes per spigot and can prevent a burst pipe repair that easily runs into the thousands. Window wells, if your basement has them, are frequently ignored until they fill with leaves, dirt, and water. A clogged window well essentially becomes a small reservoir sitting right against your basement wall, and eventually that water finds its way through the window seal and into your basement. Clearing debris from window wells and making sure they have proper drainage at the bottom, along with a well-fitted cover, is a small task that prevents a surprisingly common source of basement flooding. The area around your HVAC condenser unit outside is another spot people forget about entirely. Leaves, grass clippings, and debris that build up around the unit restrict airflow, which forces the system to work harder and can lead to premature compressor failure, one of the most expensive components to replace in an entire HVAC system. Keep at least 2 feet of clearance around the unit, and hose it down gently a few times a year to keep the coils clean and efficient. Even something as simple as your refrigerator's water line, if you have an ice maker or water dispenser, deserves a spot on this list. Those small plastic supply lines are notorious for developing tiny cracks over years of use, and a slow leak behind a refrigerator can soak into flooring and cabinetry for months before anyone notices the damage. Especially since it's tucked into a corner, most people rarely look behind. Pull your fridge out once a year, inspect the line, and consider upgrading to a braided stainless steel line for extra protection. Finally, let's talk about the attic access hatch and any exterior penetrations where pipes, wires, or vents pass through your roof or walls, because these small gaps are exactly where pests, moisture, and lost energy sneak in and out of your home. Even a poorly sealed attic hatch can leak enough warm air to spike your heating bill. Water seep into your attic insulation over time. A tube of quality exterior sealant and 30 minutes of your time checking these penetrations is genuinely one of the highest return maintenance tasks any homeowner can do. When you step back and look at everything we just covered, the pattern becomes really clear. The areas of your home most likely to cause expensive damage are the ones you can't see from your couch. Attics, crawl spaces, gutters, dryer vents, chimneys, sump pumps, exterior seals, water heaters, hose bibs, window wells, HVAC units, and refrigerator lines don't ask for attention, so they simply get ignored until something breaks. The good news is that almost every single one of these forgotten areas takes less than 30 minutes to inspect, and catching a problem early almost always costs a fraction of what it costs to repair the damage after the fact. Building a simple habit of walking through these spots twice a year, once before winter and once in spring, is genuinely one of the most valuable things you can do as a homeowner. Your house is constantly trying to tell you where it needs help. You just have to know where to look, and now you do.